everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you didn't already know, I did used to work as a makeup artist for Bobbi Brown and I did freelancing after that, so I've had a lot of experience in working with clients who need their makeup to last long and look nice. So I'll basically be featuring products that are tried and tested that I love, that I swear by in terms of, special occasion makeup. So the first thing is obviously to moisturize your skin. I suggest using what you know and what you are comfortable with and what you know works for your skin, rather than using something brand new a couple of days before, because you never know how it will react to your skin. Next is primer. Primer is so important, especially if you have oily skin, because you need your foundation to last as long as possible, and that is the job of a primer pretty much. Also, definitely ensure that your moisturizers and primers do not have any kind of SPF or sunscreen in them, because that is what causes that white flashback in photos, and obviously you do not want to have a white face in all of your wedding photos. The foundations that I used for my freelancing kit were the Graftobian HD Glamour Cream palettes. These are amazing because they are pretty much 100% pure pigment, which means that they are incredibly pigmented. Also, they have no SPF in them, which means that you won't get that white flashback, and they have no skincare ingredients in them either, which means that they won't interfere with your skincare routines. They're pretty much just innocent little foundations. Today I'm using the Warm palette, and I'm using the colour called Sunlit Linen, which is a very strange name for a foundation shade. But I also use that on a petal brush or a foundation brush. I find that these brushes work best with these Graftobian cream products. As you can see, that's covered up that scarring fairly nicely, and I'm not using that much, just pushing it into my skin and blending it outwards towards my jawline. If you do have very flawless skin to begin with, then you honestly will need a very small amount. As you can see, I've done the one side. I am still a little bit fake tan, so my foundation has to be a little bit darker than my natural skin tone. That's why it does look a little bit orangey yellow, but once it's all over my face, you'll see that it all comes full circle and matches. Next, I'm going to use a tiny bit of MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC20. I chose this concealer because it doesn't crease. I'm going to use a tiny bit down the bridge of my nose as a highlight as well. And I'm going to use the remainder on my blemishes here. I like to use a translucent loose powder because that's what I've always used. I just like to buff it into my skin using circular motions. Next up is bronzer. So a personal favourite of mine is the Bobbi Brown bronzing powder in Golden Light. It is very natural shade and it has absolutely no shimmer, so you can guarantee that look nice and natural. So I'm just going to use this on a Sigma Small Contour F05 brush. Just dip that into the pan, suck in my cheeks and very lightly contour. And a little bit on the temples of the forehead just to warm up the face a little bit. One of my all-time favourite blushes is another one from Bobbi Brown, and that is the Blush Cold Nectar. And I want to use that on a large angled contour F40 brush by Sigma. It's best to use a very light hand so that you're not getting too much product onto your face at once, and circular motions ensures that you're going to be blending it out really nicely. Next, I'm going to use MAC Soft and Gentle to highlight. The colour is a very skin tony beigey kind of shade, so it'll look really natural on the skin. I'm going to use the Sigma Tapered Highlighter F35 brush, and I will be placing that on my cheekbones. I'm also going to place some down the bridge of my nose and in this area here, just so that when the sun does hit I do look a little bit dewy and glowy. I'm also going to place a little bit of that on my Cupid's bow. I'm going to fill in my brows as usual with my medium brow powder from Sigma and my MAC 266 brush, and just start at the end of my eyebrow, the tail, and work my way inwards. Now when I get to the beginning of my eyebrows, I don't go back into the brow powder, I just use whatever is left on my brush, just so I get that nice kind of very faded area here. Now I'm just going to set them in place with a brow gel. This is one by Australis, and it's just a clear brow gel. So now we're on to the eyes. So I'm going to use my MAC paint pot in Soft Ochre, which is just a skin colour paint pot, and this prevents anything that I put on top of my eyes from creasing. You can use any kind of primer that has worked for you in the past. I'm going to start off with my Naked palette, and I'll be using the shade Naked, which is a very light brown, on a Sigma Tapered Blending E40 brush. And I'm going to use this in my socket line to kind of transition the colours that I'll be putting on my eyelids after this. After applying that in the crease, I'm going to apply the same shade using a Sigma Shader Lid E56 brush. And I'm going to apply that just on the base of my eyelid. Once I've applied that, I'm going to use this shade here from MAC, which is called Woodwinked. I'm also going to run that through the crease as well. And I'm going to take a small blending brush, this one is from Coastal Scents, and I'm going to take that Woodwinked shade again on the brush and just blend that a little bit further up into the crease, just to give the eye a little bit more definition. I'm going to take my Naked palette and use Foxy as a brow bone highlight. Following that, I'm going to take my MAC 266 brush again and black out from the Naked palette, which is a matte black, and I'm going to line my upper lash line very slightly with this. I'm using a black eyeshadow instead of a liner to begin, but just because it creates a much softer line. Then I will put a little bit of liquid eyeliner over that line, just a very slight amount at the very base of my lashes. I'm going to place a tiny little bit of whatever's left on the brush on the outer portion of my lashes, because you can see that the base of my lashes is very fair, and this just makes it look a little bit thicker. Now time for mascara. So obviously if you are going to be the bride or a bridesmaid, you will probably want to wear a waterproof mascara because there's going to be a lot of crying. I'm just going to make sure that the mascara is very concentrated at the base of the lashes. As usual, I'm going to place a little bit on my bottom lashes as well. I just find that placing mascara on your lower lashes does really open up the eyes. I'm going to concentrate it on the very base though, and try to put a little bit less on the ends of my lashes. These are the most natural lashes that I could find in my collection, and they are quite natural. They're not very thick, they're not very long, they're just natural looking lashes, I guess. So the last step is obviously lipstick. Now normally I would go for, you know, a nice pale pink nude lipstick, but in terms of wedding or bridal makeup and special occasion makeup in general, sometimes I would tend to go with a little bit more of a pinkier tone lipstick, just because when you take photos with flash, the flash can or will wash out the colour of the lipstick. I'm going to use this lipstick by MAC. It is called Angel. Most people know this lipstick. That is the end of the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. All of my links and everything are always down below, like my vlog channel, my Facebook page and stuff. And please like the video if you liked it. And to those of you who are getting married, I hope you have an amazing, amazing, amazing day and take lots of photos and yeah, woo! Anyway, have a great day and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. So I'm just going to take a photo with flash on my camera so that you can see how the makeup reacts to it.